sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Good morning. You are listening to KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM, streaming live at ksqd.org. I am Catherine Bell, and this is the Dream Journal, a weekly show where we explore the healing powers of your nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with you. In the words of Carl Jung, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Have you ever noticed that your dreams are taking you on a spiritual journey, leading you home? Find out how your dreams show you your promise and your unique gifts. We will be speaking and singing today with music therapist and archetypal dreamwork practitioner, Grace Cheptu. This is Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. The Dream Journal is also a podcast, so you can look for that on all your major podcast platforms. If you want to see the full archives of the Dream Journal, you can go to the K-Squid page, that's ksqd.org/the-dream-journal. Look for the Dream Journal, review it on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, and tell a friend. It does help people to find the show. I'm going to announce right now that next week is going to be a call-in only show, so I'm excited to hear your stories of dreams, and if you want to call and talk about the fire, I'm totally welcome to talk about that as well. There's been a huge impact. Myself, I live in Bonnie Doon, and my house survived, but I am not able to return to my home. And it brings up a lot of big feelings in me. So if you have some feelings that you would like to talk about and get some support around, call in next week and we will have a call-in only show. And at the end of this show, too, there'll also be time in the last 20 minutes that you can call in and share a dream or ask questions. So I'll give you that number now so you can call in later during this show or next week. That number is 831-900-5773. I'd like to say good morning, Cheptu. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Catherine?
I'm doing well. Thank you. So good to have you on the air.
Oh, thank you.
Cheptu?
Same here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I've known Cheptu for years. We've been to some dream retreats in Vermont years and years ago, so I'm looking forward to reconnecting today on the show.
Yes. And let me first say, before we begin,
Sure.
how much I've been thinking about this situation with the fires on the West Coast. And I pray that all heaven and earth will come together, and so the fires will cease.
Thank you.
And so I'm sorry to hear about your house. I'm glad to hear that your house is safe.
Yes.
Even though you're away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's right. I appreciate those prayers. That's always welcome. So Cheptu is an archetypal dreamwork practitioner who companions others along their spiritual journeys, guided by the sacred script of their dreams. She weaves into her dreamwork practice gleanings from her professional background in music therapy and music education, clinical chaplaincy, and pastoral ministry. When personal crisis visited, Cheptu found support to embrace the growth edges her dreams revealed with specific, loving intention. Now she creates sacred space for others to explore the landscape of their dreams for clarification, cleansing, and healing and growth, where there has been uncertainty, suffering, and various forms of loss. I realize I never gave my own dream check-in. Okay, I'll take a minute here, Cheptu, and
yeah.
I was just thinking, the way the dreams have been so helpful for me during this whole crisis, and maybe this can help us segue into our conversation. And it has been a really powerful and scary experience to have to empty your home and not know if you'll ever see it again, and then living in the driveway of Rick Kleffel, who's created this ambient music, a friend of mine, and it has been just moments of just kind of shock kind of reverberating through me. And the dreams have really provided a space for me to start to come back into my body, because there's a way I feel like I kind of left my body and had to be in crisis mode, because there was so much that needed to be done so suddenly with no warning. We had like a 4 a.m. evacuation on Wednesday morning, August 19th, and there was no time for thinking. But the dream that I'm working with now is one where I start off at the top of a mountain, and it's covered with snow, and I'm really scared. And as I go down through the mountain, there's people along the side of the road or the trail where I'm walking, and they're cheering me on. I don't know who they are, but they're just saying, "Yeah, you're doing great, keep going." And I feel like this is the archetypes, that these are my allies, my angels, who are coming in my dreams to tell me it's okay and that I'm doing well. And I am indeed coming back down. I'm coming into my own body and starting to get to the place where I get to connect with my feelings again. So, Cheptu, I'm so glad to have you here, and just to share how helpful the dreams are during this crisis of mine. And I know you've been through quite a bit. I wonder if you'd like to share some of your story and how dreams have been helpful for you.
Well, it's just, it's just so interesting what the dream that you just shared.
Yeah.
And dreams, it's always about helping us to get grounded
Mm-hmm.
and be connected, and despite what happens around us. And my dreams right now are doing a similar thing for me, reminding me of being grounded. In my most recent, one of my most recent dreams, I'm in an ancient place with an elder, and the elder is one who practices traditional healing and talisman work and that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a cantor, which is great, because I appreciate so much as I sing as well.
That's someone who sings, right? A cantor. Huh?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes to me, he's on this ancient looking horse. And then he comes back to me, and he's on this ancient elephant. And they're black and jet black and very, very shiny and look very, very ancient. And I pet the horse. At first it's a horse, and then it's an animal. And I'm touching it, and I'm feeling that energy permeate through my body. Mm-hmm. And it's just grounding. It's just grounding me. And then I'm on the back. I'm transported, and I'm on the back of these animals with this elder, which would be an archetype. Mm-hmm. And we're riding, and he's showing me different things. And it feels just so surreal, and the feeling is so indescribable. And in the context of so much happening today, it was such a welcome feeling to have that dream. And I remember as I was working it, I could feel the energy permeating through my body, through all the surface of my skin, from head to toe. And then I could even feel that energy moving in my heart. And that's kind of, that's what this work is all about. It's about getting us centered and getting us grounded and working through those things that have kept us blocked from that energy. From, we experience different traumas that cause us to shut down. Mm-hmm. And when we shut down, that closes these wonderful channels that connect us to the universe. And so the dream work is about going back through those dreams and fleshing out some of that trauma, and even helping us, showing us how we the compensations that we've lived through to kind of cover up our traumas. So we have to work through all of our stuff and look at our little ickiness, right. and and just keep peeling away. Yep. Peeling those layers. Yeah.
It's not always pretty, that's for sure.
It's not always pretty. No, it's not. Yeah. But it really, when we clear out that material, then we can open more to our essential selves and our true power, whatever form it takes for each individual. It's all about becoming open again.
Right.
And I love the work.
Right. Well, these traumas that we have, and sometimes they're kind of large identifiable traumas, and sometimes it's everyday trauma of being, told to, be quiet and sit down and just not being seen and being heard. And we learn to kind of put away our feelings. And like I'm experiencing after the fire, I'm able to, be able to come back and reclaim my feelings. But if those feelings have been hidden for decades, often, certainly when I started the dream work, I was very much out of touch with even that I was traumatized. I didn't feel like a traumatized person. I felt competent. I was very competent, but that was like covering up a huge amount of fear and pain that I slowly through the dream work had let myself feel. And you're like, well, why would I want to feel that? And yet that's where our soul is. That's what's true.
Yes. Yeah, that is just so true. It's a big difference between being competent and being real with ourselves.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
And it's and the dreams will like kind of, like you said, kind of gently peel back the layers and very specific of what's happening with you right in the moment.
Yes. Yeah, the dreams there are no surprises in the dream, except maybe to the dreamer. When there's a
well, wait, that's what the dream is for.
Sometimes it's just, we're just living, and we're just. I heard a dream of a person not too long ago, and he was seeing bugs.
Huh.
And the bugs were crawling, had pierced through his skin, and he was very frightened, and he was trying to kill them. And we all have bugs, and the ways that we have lived just to cover up whatever is traumatic to us, and the ego would tell us to smash the bug or to kill it.
Right.
And that we are in control. But what if that dream was really showing that the bugs are now coming out, that the dreamer is ready to see what those things are? And so that's what our dreams will often do for us, and allow us the opportunity then to, like we say, we use that metaphor, always peeling back another layer, but just to look inside, because when we look inside, that's where the healing can come. And that's where, you have that itch sometimes that you just can't scratch, or that, I had a dream once about the monkey on my back, and I can't see it, but I know it's there, And so the dreams are very, very specific.
Yeah.
If we just we pay attention to them.
Right. Yeah. That's true. I wonder if you'd like to say a few words about archetypes. We've been using that word, and that for me that's a real important part of the dream journey. And I wonder if we could say what archetypes are for you.
Yes. Well, for me, archetypes are like spiritual. They're like energies. They are common energies that are found all over the world amongst different people, ages. There's certain ones that just seem to repeat itself through personal experience. And for me, they are energies that are healing. They are always working in service to me. So some of the common ones for me are in Jungian dream work. He used the term the Anima and the Animus, and there are several other archetypes as well. A big one for me has been the Animus, and the Animus has stood in the role of the male divine, or an aspect of the divine that shows up in a male form. And when he shows up, he's always has something to teach me. When he shows up, there's a lesson, and there's love, and there's support. And sometimes the Animus may have to trick me in order to understand, to get the point of the message that's being brought. I also have the Anima is another archetype, the feminine aspect of the divine, who often comes for healing when I need healing, and being cleared of shame. So she's often there too. But the big one for me is that male divine figure I call it the beloved, and many people call it the beloved, and it's always seeking union, to be in union, and I've had lots of dreams. I can remember, I can remember my early dreams when the male divine figure would come, and it usually comes in the dream. It's going to show up as someone, as a male person. It could be someone you know. It could be a major star, actor or singer or anything like that. But it's usually a male person. But because of the trauma that I had around my childhood, trauma that I experienced in my childhood around male authority figures, I did not trust the male that would come to me in a dream, and I was always fighting it or pushing him away, or projecting negatively onto the male figure in the dream because of my lived experiences. And it's very, very different now. It's very, very different now. He comes and I'm with him and he's with me, and I can accept that. And that's the love and the support that's available for us.
Right.
And to teach us everything. Teach us everything that we need to know.
Well, let's take that to our first break. Cheptu, this is wonderful to talk to you. And this song is going to be a 30-second clip from Tracy Chapman's wedding song, which is basically about what we're talking about, the Animus. And how powerful that can feel to have that support and that connection in our dreams, and how it does come over into waking life as well. So this is the Dream Journal. We are speaking to Grace Cheptu. This is KSQUID 90.7 FM, and I am your host, Catherine Bell. In about 15-20 minutes, I will open up the phone so you can call in to 831-900-5773. You could share a dream you're curious about or ask a question.
I've been having dreams and visions. In them you are always standing right beside me. I reach out for your hand to see your arm extending outstretched towards me. You are dawn a veil, by your light others pale by comparison.
I am Catherine Bell, and this is the Dream Journal. Today we are here live with Grace Cheptu, who's known as Cheptu. Hello, welcome back.
Hi, thank you. That I'm just smiling ear to ear because that song is just one of my all-time favorites, and I like to drive in my car, and I keep that one. I play that one all the time.
Beautiful song.
She calls it the wedding song. Yeah.
So what is it about weddings?
I absolutely love it.
You know, there's lots of weddings and dreams, and there's always something celebratory about that.
Yeah, Yeah, weddings. Weddings are about. It's about the cosmic union. It's about the divine union that happens internally. That happens internally when we finally separate. We're able to separate the parts of us that are not our true selves with the part of us that's the truest essence of who we are. And sometimes we'll have a lot of people, especially women, will have dreams where maybe they're at a wedding, and I've had them. I can remember some of the ones that I've had on the way where I'm maybe doing something for the wedding. Maybe I'm cutting flowers or preparing a meal, preparing something for the wedding. Instead of actually being the bride, or sometimes we have sometimes there's the dream where the wedding is going on in one building, but then the dreamer is somewhere in a different place.
Right.
So the process is going to be for the dreamer to eventually be the person in the wedding, to be the bride and with the beloved. And that's a real celebration when the individual gets that dream.
Right. It's always so hard for us to accept that we might be beloved, instead of like we can be the helper, we can prepare, we can be competent, but can we also be cherished and let ourselves be cherished?
That takes a certain amount of vulnerability too.
Absolutely.
Because we are used to being in charge, and the ego, has to help us to live our daily lives. But internally, we're also struggling for the ego to step to the side, so that the real nature, our true nature, we can be then reconnected to our true nature and follow that, because that is where our greatest joy lies. Yeah.
So one thing I'd like to talk about a little bit about is how exactly do dreams show us what our unique gifts are? How do they? Maybe you can give some examples of how dreams have invited us forward. Like we've kind of talked about how they help us unravel our stuck places and our hurt places and get into the place where we can feel support. But then the next step is to move forward. Like as Reverend Deborah Johnson says, pain pushes until vision pulls. So we got the pain pushes part, and we get to the place where we feel the support of the beloved, of the archetypes. What about the vision, and what about the invitations and the promise? How do dreams show us that?
It's unique for each individual. It's just so very unique. But you'll have, for me, for instance, I am a musician, or I've been a music teacher my entire life. I've hidden away from writing my own songs and singing my own songs. I'm an excellent teacher. But my dreams over the years have kept showing me, pull out the keyboard, pull out the guitar, play. I remember a dream that I had where I was in like a locker room, and there was a guitar case and a keyboard case, and then they grew legs, and then it started running and playing around the locker room, and it was telling me to play. To make the music, to go forward.
Right.
And I'll keep getting those dreams, and it's something that I've kind of shied away from. It's easier to be the teacher because teachers get to know all the answers, and we always get to tell other people what to do.
Right.
But after all of these years, I would touch it, I would tap into it a little bit, and then back away from it. And so I am just now actually feeling the energy that I have around my music. It's so interesting that last week, someone asked me to prepare a set of music to perform at an event. So I'm in the process of developing my 10-song set. And the thing was, in the past, if someone would ask me to do that, I would go, yikes, or I would say, oh gosh, there's 1,000 people, can play circles around me. Blah, blah, blah. I can't do this, whatever. But this time, even though, I know I have to beef up my technical skills, there was this energy in me that was saying, yes. And so here I am. And so I'm really excited about this opportunity.
Wow, that's wonderful. And this is all original music?
It's going to be some jazz jazz covers and a combination jazz covers and some of my original songs. So.
Well, I'm so glad that we got around to music, because I am excited to connect with you about music, because as listeners know, I have often spoken about how I had dreams inviting me to sing as well, and how I found that to be extremely vulnerable and helpful to feel into that. And I know that's one thing you and I have in common. And I would, we talked a little about the possibility of you perhaps singing a little something on the air. And I wonder if you're feeling that. And there's a particular song we talked about, but it doesn't have to be that one. It could be any song that you are feeling in the moment. And I wonder if you would feel into yourself and see if that feels like the right thing to do, either now or a few minutes from now.
Yeah. My heart is bursting right now.
Yay.
My heart is bursting. Aww. Yeah, I would like to share one that I sing often. It's called "Open My Heart," and I remember when this was one that just came. I was driving, and I was at a point where I was trying to make that bridge to open myself to being vulnerable and to be the receiver. It's easy to give. To me, it's easier to give than to receive, because then to receive, there's a certain level of vulnerability you have to have. And so this song just dropped in. It's called "Open My Heart," and I'll just sing a little.
Great.
And then you know it, because I've sung it a lot. So it says simply, and it's a prayer. It says, "Open my heart to see all your beauty. Open my heart to your power within me. Wherever I go, you know who I am. All the world and heaven await me if I can stay in my vulnerability. Be with me forevermore and a day. Help me to stay.
Help me to stay.
Help me to stay.
Help me to stay.
Open my heart.
Open my heart.
Help me to stay. Open my heart. Help me to stay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, I can just feel my heart right now.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's the part of us that gets, we get separated from all our lived lives and our covers. We get separated from that. And, but it never leaves us. We just get separated, and it's all about getting reconnected.
Right.
I feel good.
Exactly. The singing is, for me, is a powerful way of really connecting with my body and with the divine and with spirit, and that there's something about singing that just resonates through my body. So thank you. Thank you, Cheptu. It's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Singing the song took me back to another group of dreams that I used to have, and this is common. A lot of people have the dream about the man at the door, and you're trying to call help, 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 or dial 911, and the phone doesn't work, or you can't get through, and the person is terrified, rattling at the door. And very often, it's not a threat, but very often it's the divine knocking at the door, saying, I'm here, I'm here. And I'm thinking about my recent, before this last dream that I shared about being with the elder on the elephant and the primordial horse. The dream that I had before that was a great, great dream. It was in part of a segment of, it was a series of dreams. But in this particular one, I was at my house and the knock came on the door. And I was aware that I had not locked, I had not put the double latch on. So that hint, that's a progress right there. I left part of the lock off, so I'm opening myself a little. And so then I immediately, although I start to feel the panic starts to come in and I want to scream for help. But in the middle of the dream, it was like, oh gosh, here I go again. And I realized the man wants to come in. So I opened up the door and I let him in. And then these three guys are there. And one of them extends his hands to mine as if inviting me to dance. And it's kind of like, just like the image in Tracy Chapman's song, she's there and he reaches his hand for her. But he just opens his hands and then I just look into his eyes and he just breaks into this smile and I just can't help but melt when I see and feel all that love coming through. And it's about the love that he extends to me, but most of all, it's about opening myself to receive the love. Right. That we block off so much.
Absolutely.
And so we begin this dance, and then he's leading me through these moves, and then at some point, he's just holding my hand very lightly, and I'm just freely expressing myself through my movement. And then he lets me take the lead, and I'm just having this blast dancing and feeling all this openness and expansiveness. And it was just another awesome, beautiful feeling. And just to see my growth,
Right.
The dreams just, these are the sweet dreams I'm sharing, but I've said before, you have the other dreams I will show you.
Right. But, just like what you're saying, it's about the dreamer, like that when the door is closed and locked, then the knock on the door, the invitation feels like someone pounding and trying to break down the door and hurt us, because of course they could well tumble our world to pieces, because maybe there's things that we're doing that are not good for us, and that's going to... That is going to change. Stuff is change.
Yep.
It's going to change when you open that door, and it's kind of scary because I've got my apples stacked just right here. Don't mess them up.
Right. Don't go messing with my stuff.
I know. I got that. Don't mess it. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, Cheptu, we have another segment to go, and I would like to play a piece from a song that Cheptu sings in called "Beloved." And this is an original song by, I'm afraid I don't remember the name of...
Josh Rosansky was another fellow in the Dreamwork with us.
Right.
And he wrote the song, and we he and I recorded it together.
So until we get some more recordings of your songs, hint, hint, Cheptu, we want to get some actual recordings. We do have this one of a beautiful song called Beloved. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. And I'd like to say that the phones now are open. If anybody would like to call in to talk to us, the phone number is 831-900-5773. So you can go ahead and pick up the phone right now. Max is standing by, ready to answer the phone. And we are speaking here today with Grace Cheptu. My name is Catherine Bell, and this is the Dream Journal on K-Squid, Santa Cruz, KSQD.org.
You are my proof, beloved, that I can hold on. You are my truth, beloved. I lean upon. You are my roof, beloved. Straight from the sun, you are my truth. You are the one.
This is the Dream Journal.
My name is Pat.
Pat, hi. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah,
Oh,
Georgia.
thanks for calling. Welcome to the show. So glad you called in.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just kind of have a general question.
Sure.
I feel like I'm not somebody that necessarily dreams a lot, but I feel like sometimes when I do, it's like I can't really remember all the details.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one like a couple of days ago, if I could just share that, but it seems like it's kind of sparse, but it was just a dream where I had an 8th grade teacher of mine, which is a good, a teacher that I really liked. And then there was a friend of mine, and those are the only people that I recognized in the dream, even though there were a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody said anything in this dream that I had. It just was more like just a congregation of people.
Mm.
And I felt like something may have happened. But then that was kind of like it. Mm. And then I woke up.
Cheptu,
yeah.
I feel
it's
like
weird.
Yeah, I have a lot. I think this is a very beautiful, very powerful dream. I wonder if Cheptu, you would like to.
Yeah. So I
bit.
have a question. You said that there was an angry teacher.
No, my 8th grade teacher.
Oh, your 8th grade teacher who you liked.
Right. Which was a favorite teacher of mine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 8th grade teacher. Mm-hmm. And this was it a male or a female? Do you remember?
It was a male teacher.
Okay. Well, it's, well, first of all, it's often a lot of people will say, I don't dream a lot. So you're always dreaming. It's just about remembering
right.
what,
that's for me.
It's about remembering what came. But your dreams, your interior world, it's always in service to you, and you will get what you need. And so just by even bringing up the dream now, you're opening to the unconscious, and then you will get more. To have a male teacher come in the dream, especially somebody that you like, I would say this is a very supportive dream. Mm-hmm. And you're surrounded by friends. No one is speaking, but there's a congregation of people all around you. Right. I would think that these are archetypes all around you, and it's like just letting you know that that you are supported. And if you're dreaming, maybe there, the dreams may open you to some things that you haven't looked at before. And this is kind of like a prologue to let you know that all this wonderful support, it's interior support, is in place for you.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
how does that settle for you, Pat?
I guess it makes sense because, like I said, it just seems really, really just so strange because there were only two people that I recognized, and the other one was a female friend who was a good friend. And I'm saying, you have all these people, and and then it just shuts off. But I don't know. Maybe I need to be more open because I feel like sometimes I have them, but then I'll say, "Did I dream about something? What was it?" And I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say, Pat, that it's fairly common to have that people in my dreams are people I don't recognize. That in some ways, the people seem to be like they're kind of symbols of people as much as actual people themselves. But it's interesting that the two people you do recognize are people that you feel comfortable with and love. And I guess I would ask is, what is your feeling in the dream? What does it feel like to stand there in that room?
Well, for me, I felt like I was just kind of like a surprise feeling because, I have the two people here that I know, and, who are these other people? And, why are they here? What, and I don't say anything. Nobody says anything. So.
Right. Well, see, that's the mind will drift away, will drift into what's going on, who's here, why are they here, whereas the archetypes just want you to see that they're there and to stand in that love. And it's interesting, when because the feeling content, Catherine just asked you what you felt, and it's when this work begins to open up for us, very often we're not in touch. We don't feel our feelings, and because we're just so used to thinking and figuring things out, whereas this work really wants to open us to the feeling content, because the feeling content has a lot of information for you. But it's wonderful to, like you say, the people who you do know are supportive ones, and so take in the support and remember that what that feeling it was like with that particular teacher, and what it was like to be, what qualities did this teacher have, and know that's being given to you now.
Right.
And thank you. That's something that I never thought of anything that way. That's actually something I think I can do.
Wonderful. Yeah, and there's something, I love that there's a teacher. Like, is there something that I'm opening up to? I like maybe something I'm learning here and that I'm ready to learn, and I'm going to have this guidance, that this guidance is already here for me to help me learn. I think this is actually quite a powerful dream, Pat, and I would really cherish the dream.
Okay. And actually, when I think about it, I think I could probably actually relate it to something, actually in my actual life. It's something that I want to undertake. So maybe it does make sense. It makes sense after all. So I thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the question. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So glad you called,
Thank
Pat.
you for sharing. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. So we do have another caller on the line, and as I think we still have, can you say hello if you're still there?
Hello, I'm here.
Wonderful. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Inger. I'm also calling from Georgia.
Great. Love it. The Southern connection.
Yeah.
Inga, thanks for calling. What can we do for you? What would you like to share?
Okay, well, I have a dream that I had about a week ago. And the dream started out where I was outside, I think we were in a park, like a public park. And I saw a friend that I know very well, and she grabbed my hand. She was like, "Come on, let's go for a ride." And she ran ahead of me, and she got to the car in the back seat, and the door was open, and she was just sitting there smiling. So I ran, and I got in the front seat on the passenger side. The inside, the driver was another older lady. She's an elder in my community. I respect her. She was the driver. We started driving, and we left like the park area, and we were like on some, like one through some small towns, like a two-way road, and along the side of the road we would see like indigenous.
I'm sorry, you're seeing what? You're
Seeing indigenous worship places, like there were chairs outside, and there were like some masks, and the people were like worshiping outside. And then I said, well, wow, look at the people getting back to their roots. But the two ladies, they ignored me. So we kept driving, and then we passed some homes, very nice, very beautiful, older homes that were dilapidated, like maybe like they had been bombed.
Oh, it had been bombed? You're saying it had been bombed? Oh, gosh.
It had been bombed, and there was a lot of rubble. And I was saying, oh, wow, I know something bad happened there. There was something terrible that happened there. And we saw like a few communities like that. And again, the ladies ignored me. Well, they didn't respond to me. So we got
These are the ladies in the car?
The ladies in the car, right.
Okay.
Like, whenever I talked, they never responded. So we got to a place where there was this community full of like old rundown houses, and the road forked. And I was thinking, well, we should go left. Instead, the lady went to the right, and then there were these cars coming head on towards us. So she just kind of moved over, and then there was this big, huge truck that came. It was a big, kind of dirty truck. The truck was so big that he ended up just like pushing our car backward, and we were going down into the woods, and eventually, like the back of our car was hanging over a cliff.
Oh.
And I remember, just thinking like the wheels were hanging over, and I remember thinking, oh God, we're gonna fall. And the women were just sitting there; they weren't saying anything. So I started praying and calling like the Orisha Ogun. I started praying out loud, and then that's when the car just went back. It didn't fall all the way down, but it like locked, and that's when.
Well, thank you, Inga.
Thank you for sharing,
Yeah.
Inga. Yes, well, one thing, it seems like it's you said that you had fear when the truck pushed you over the cliff.
Right.
Okay, so that's good. That's a good thing to have that fear. It looks like that there might be something terrible happened, you said, and looks like you may have support to look at something that has been traumatic. It's interesting that you have two people in the car who are not panicking. So maybe it might be this might be good to trust them that maybe they're taking you somewhere. And it's something that just seems interesting too about the trucks, because trucks, have a lot of power, and they're pushing you backwards down the cliff. And in this work, we want to go down, because to descend is then to go into our interior world, to get to the place where our soul is rooted. And the ego would want us to stay in the car and keep going, but the truck says no, go backwards, go down.
Oh,
so, and it's interesting that the women they're not frantic, they're not worried about it, because maybe they're accompanying you to this could be an invitation to look at something that's buried, and that you need to go back and look for.
I want to say that the moment of support that I see in there's several moments of support, quite a few, but one of them is driving past the churches and seeing all the people. And something you said, I can't remember exactly what it was, like they're getting their, they're celebrating. They're really celebrating that there's something there for you, that there's support for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too that you said that these were people. You noticed that they were people who were getting back to their roots.
Oh, that's what it was.
And that's and that's
right.
about you too. That could be, referencing the part of you that wants to go back to my roots,
Right.
and look at what's there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for calling, Inga. I really am so glad that you called in, and thank you for sharing your dream. I know that's very vulnerable. There seems like there's a lot of change happening for you, and I wish you blessings on your journey.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Because it was scary, but to hear that
Yes.
distinction is leading me to a place where I think there's going to be some healing.
Right. Well,
Yes.
thank you, Inga. I want to leave we have just a few minutes left, and I want to say hello to the gentleman who called in as well. Well, thank you. Maybe you can get in touch with Cheptu or me directly, Inga, as well, to explore the stream further if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, you too. Bye. So, the gentleman who called in, are you still on the line? Hope we didn't lose you.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
I would like to speak to Cheptu.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hey, Cheptu.
Hi there.
Everything's. I've been listening to you. It's been nice listening to this. You're listening to just a little bit of everything. Let me ask you a question. All right. I know that you did a lot with music, Cheptu, like singing the songs of others, like in the church for years. And then you went to study classical music, playing the music of others. There must have been a turning point as far as your journaling to writing songs. What was the turning point, or was it just a process of time when you actually started doing your own stuff? What was that turning point?
No, it just actually my first songs came when I started doing started doing dream work, and just began expressing songs that came out of my dreams. And that's what happens, when you do what's called the descent work that the dreams allow you, open you to. And it's not the same for everybody, but for me, because I tend to be in my mind a lot, and I had a lot of covering and a lot of fear about just being myself, then the process of working through my dreams then opened that for me. And so I began to write.
I'm afraid it's just 1 minute before the hour, we're going to have to wrap up this conversation. I'm really loving this, and I'm so glad that you called in. And Cheptu, thank you so much for coming on the air and sharing your beautiful voice and your inspirations.
Thank you. And I would invite, if anyone out there is interested in knowing more about my journey, or would like to talk about their dreams, I do have a website. It's Now Journey Home, nowjourneyhome.com. And if you wanted to email me, you could email me at nowjourneyhome@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I really am so glad to have you on the air again, and I appreciate that. I will share this information on the post page when I release it in a few days. Take care, Cheptu.
Thank you, Catherine.
All right. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
So next week we will be doing our call-in only show. So get ready for your calls. We had 3 calls today, so we've got lots of people out there interested in the Dream Journal, as I know we always do. So get ready for next week, a Labor Day weekend call-in only show. And also I'm starting a new round of Experiential Dreamwork workshops starting Monday, September 7th. And you can contact me to find out more about that. And I would love to have you join me for these interactive workshops.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you.
I am Catherine Bell, and this has been the Dream Journal. Thanks for listening. You can find out more about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. I offer private sessions, dream groups, and interactive online classes. If you have a dream you are curious about, you are welcome to contact me for a free introductory dream consultation. You can also reach me at Catherine@ksquid.org. That's KATHERINE@ksqd.org. Let me know if you have suggestions for interviews or questions about a dream. If you like this show, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or tell a friend how much you're enjoying the show. I'd also like to thank my program assistant, Max Deaton, and our creative musician, Rick Kleffel, who created an original composition for our ambient music again today. Thank you to all the generous donors who support this station. K-Squid is 100% listener supported, and donations are always welcome at ksqd.org. When you wake up tomorrow morning, take a minute to look within. Do you remember a dream? Write it down and bring it to the next Dream Journal. Are you ready to wake up to the power of your dreams? I am Catherine Bell, and you are listening to KSQD Santa Cruz.